Hello everyone, my name is Light and welcome back to the lab. For those of you wondering, I have given the class the day off today. That being said, for today's experiment, we are going to take a look at, build, and discuss 4 simple 117 starter farms that you can build in your world right away. These are very easy to build. All the materials should be super easy for you to obtain. Alright, so allow me a moment, I'll get spun around and we'll get started. Alright folks, the first farm that we're going to build, and actually the first 2 farms that we're going to build, will look extremely similar, but will both have a different function. Alright, now the first thing that we're going to start with, I think, is 5 cauldrons. So we're going to put them down just like that, and I'm actually going to build both farms at the same time. So again, we'll do another row of 5 cauldrons right over here. Perfect, just like that. Alright, so now next we are going to need some building blocks so we can pillar up just a little bit. We're going to want to go up by at least 3 blocks. And then we're going to want to build across like this. When you have that line in, you can actually go ahead and you can break that, you can break that. So what you should have looks like this. Now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to extend this line right across. And then of course we'll break the extras in the middle. Alright, so at this point we should have this. Okay, now the next thing that we're going to need is some dripstone, and that's going to be put in both of these. The dripstone's going to go on the bottom of these blocks right here. Now you'll notice the moment we place it, they do start dripping with some water. So again, if I place them over here on this side, we should see the same thing happening. Perfect. Alright. Now the next thing that we need to do is build a little cage around the top for the fluids that we're going to be putting up there. And it's up to you. For the purposes of this build, I'm actually going to use stained glass. However, if you want to, you can use building blocks, glass, stained glass, whatever you like. Totally up to you. Alright. So ideally, we're going to place one here. Then we'll put one here as a guide. Break the corners because we don't need those. Bring them all the way across, kind of like this. Alright, so when it's built, it should look like that. So again, we'll do the same thing on this side. Okay, just like that. We'll put our corner in. And actually, to make it easier, you can actually put this block in like that. So then you can just place your 3 corner pieces and then connect them all up. Perfect. So when your 2 top parts in, everything should look like this. All right. Now next, grab either a bucket of lava or a bucket of water, and this is going to go in the top. Now you will need multiple buckets of lava and multiple buckets of water. Each one of these has to be its own source. It cannot be flowing. It has to be a source block. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right there. And if we grab our bucket of water, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right there. Perfect. Now you'll notice the moment we change the liquids, this one over here is already dripping lava, and this one over here is still dripping water, but at a faster rate. Perfect. So for the first 2 starter farms, folks, that's it. Now all we do is wait. When any of the cauldrons fills up, we can come by with our bucket, grab the contents, and be on our way. It is unfortunate, but we are not able to use a dispenser to take the contents out of a cauldron. Maybe that's something that they'll change in a future update, but as of right now, we cannot use a dispenser to take the contents out of a cauldron. Alright. Okay, so those are the first 2. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, so the next farm that we're going to build is actually going to be glowberries. So that being said, we're going to need to build up a little bit. Say go up by 5 blocks or so. Once you're up, you can get rid of those guys. Then I would recommend making a 5 by 5 square. Okay. So like that. Okay. Next, go ahead and grab some glowberries. You can plant these on the bottom of the blocks just like this. Make sure that there's one on every block. Perfect. Once you have them all planted, these glowberries will grow over time. Now, some of them will grow with a glowberry directly on the bush, and that's really more to give a lighting effect. When it comes to harvesting these, you will need a tool that has silk touch. That could be either shears or a hoe, totally up to you. And if I grab that, you'll notice if I put myself in survival, give me one sec. You'll notice if I put myself in survival, every time we hit one of these with something with silk touch, we get a glowberry. All right. So the idea being, you wait till these grow all the way down to the floor. When you're ready to harvest, you grab your silk touch tool and you can literally just go back and forth like this, taking them all down, getting as many glowberries as you need. Now, if you want to automate the process a little bit, you could, put a minecart here, put yourself in the minecart and have that take you back and forth. So all you have to do is swing. Totally up to you. And again, it is unfortunate, but we cannot currently use a dispenser with a set of shears to take the glowberries off of the bush. We can, however, use a dispenser with some bone meal to make the glowberries glow, which we could then harvest with our tool. So you could do that kind of automated setup, but as a player, you would still need to be there hitting it every time. So for a nice starter one, I would probably go with something like this. Wait for everything to grow. When you're ready, grab your silk touch hoe or shears, take it all down. All right, perfect. So that's farm number 3, guys. All right, and now let's move on to farm number 4. All right, now this next farm is specific to harvesting the dripstone itself. And of the builds, this will be the most involved, but I assure you will be really simple to build in your survival world. All right. Now, the first thing that we're going to have to do is a little bit of digging. The area that we'll need will be 5 blocks this way and 4 blocks this way. You also have a choice to make. If you're okay with putting your rail tracks on the dirt down one layer, then that's fine. You only need to dig down by 1. But if you're not okay with the dirt and you want a different platform, go down by 2. Me, I'm going to go down by 2. So again, that was 5 blocks this way by 4 blocks this way. So once you have your outline, go ahead, dig that out. And for those who want a new platform, go down by 1 more. All right, now that we have our platform dug, we could start laying in our power sources for the rails and the floor, hoppers, and chest. Perfect. So for the power sources, we're actually going to put a redstone block here, and we're going to put a redstone block right here. For our chest, we're going to dig out 2 additional blocks. So let's say this is the front of the build, where that block is right there. Let's dig out these 2 blocks right here, and our chest is going to go right here. Perfect. Now going into the chest, we're going to want a row of hoppers going all the way to the back. Just like that. In all the other open areas here, fill it in with your building blocks or your platform blocks, whatever type of blocks you have. Once we have this filled in, we can start putting in our rails. So first things first, grab your powered rails. We're going to want 1, 2, 3, and 4. Grab your regular rails to make the corner. So 1, 2. This is all going to be regular rails right here as well. Now, if you find that this rail is connecting to this one, break that, break the powered rail, put one over here, place that so you get the right connection, replace your powered rail. We're going to keep going with the regular rails all the way around the corner. And at this point, we can start again with our powered rails. Don't worry about the powered rails on top of the hopper. It will still take the items. Perfect. Once we have all our rails, chest, and hoppers in, everything should look like this. Now at this point, go ahead, put your minecart on, watch it go. Perfect. Now that we know that's working, we can get rid of this. That is a temporary block. And as well, if you want, you could put a trapdoor in here, but we'll do that when we get to the end of the build. All right, so let me switch out a few components here and we could start building everything on the top. Perfect. So for the top portion, the first thing that we're going to need is full dripstone blocks. In order for dripstone to grow, it does have to be on a full block like this. So you can go ahead and just place a temporary block there so you can start putting in your dripstone. What we're going to create is a horseshoe going all the way around the minecart area, just like this. Okay. When the horseshoe's in place, everything should look like that. Okay. Now grab your pointed dripstone and put one on top of every full dripstone block. Okay. Now the next step will be to repeat this horseshoe, but we're going to do it up in the air and have those dripstones pointed down. So we're going to have to pillar up by 6 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Once you get here, grab your full dripstone blocks and match up with the horseshoe that we created below. All right, once that's in place, go ahead and break this. That's temporary. Then put in your pointed dripstone. Again, that was all the way around on every block. Once all that's in place, this is what we should have so far. And as we can see, the dripstone has started dripping already. Perfect. All right, so next, go ahead and grab your building blocks. We're going to wrap right around the dripstone blocks that we have down here and also the horseshoe that we have in the air. This is going to help us with placing our observers and our pistons. So again, same thing, wrap right around them with your building blocks, like that. Next, grab your observers, come to the back of the ring, and we're going to put 1, 2, 3 right here. We're going to skip this one, put 5 on the back. And again, skip this one, and then 1, 2, 3. So should look like that. And we're going to want to repeat the same thing on the top. So 1, 2, 3, skip here, come around the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, and again, skip that one. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. So when the observers are in place, this is what we should have. Next, grab your piston, and it should be regular pistons. We're going to want a piston on top of every observer in the bottom row. So when those are all in place, we should have this. Go ahead and repeat that with another piston on top of the other ones. All right, when those pistons are in place, this is what we should have. Oh, hi, Cal. Now, in order to power the pistons using the observers, go ahead and grab your building blocks. We'll start with the top ones. So to get power to the pistons, we're going to put building blocks on the back of each piston. And then on the top of those building blocks, we're going to put some redstone dust, just like this. So go ahead and do that all the way around for the top. Try not to miss any of your redstone. Okay, perfect. Now for the bottom, we're going to put our building blocks on the back of the observers. And again, once you put those in, redstone dust on the top. So repeat that all the way around. All right. When all that is in place, everything should look like this. Now you'll notice we do have open corners here in the back. So if you want, you can come around back like this and you can fill those in just like this. I would actually recommend this because I think it makes the build look a little nicer. So if you want, go ahead, fill in these corners just like that. Perfect. All right, now we are almost there, folks. We could put a floor in here, we're just going to use our normal building blocks for that. So go ahead and fill that in like this. This is also where you can grab your trap door, put it in like that. This way, this will still give you access to your chest whenever you need it. And then the final step is to put our water up on the top. Now, in order to help keep everything secure, we're going to fill in the roof. So grab your building blocks, fill in this section like this, and then come up to the top. We're going to need to add another row here to the front, so we have blockers. So like this, and then you can go ahead and you can bring it down and around like this. We're also going to want to put blocks on the bottom to connect, except for here. So everything should look like this. And again, come back up to the top. Now we're going to create a structure to hold the water. So essentially, we're going to create a ring of blocks all the way around the full dripstone. We're also going to fill in the center as well. All right, so when you have that done, everything should look like that. The final step, folks, is to put in our water. Now, this is very crucial. Every one of these must be a full water source block. None of our water can be flowing. So after you're done placing it, make sure it is calm and still, because that is the indication that you have a source in every spot. Like that. Once the water's in place, folks, that's it. This farm is done. The next step is to wait for everything to grow. Now these things do take a long time to grow. So in order to help you simulate that, if you'll give me a moment, I'm just going to turn up the game speed so we can watch everything in action. So we'll say about 1,000 ticks or so. And if we wait a moment, we should see these start to grow, just like that. And as you can see, every time they grow, that gets detected by the observer. The piston breaks them, they fall down to the bottom, and eventually get picked up by the hopper minecart below, deposited into our chest, just like that. All right, excellent. Now, of course, like I said, I put the game speed up to 1,000 ticks when we're normally at 1 tick. So just bear in mind that these things will take a while to grow. So I would suggest building this farm by your base or by an area where you know you're going to be so the farm can run. All right. Now, as always, if anybody's going to be building any of these farms in their world and you have any questions or need any help, please feel free to reach out in the comments below. I am more than willing to help anyone willing to give my tutorials a try. But on that note, that is all I have time for today. Once again, my name is Light, and thanks for stopping by. Bye!